Welcome back to another mic'd up video. So this workout, not really sure how it will go. I'm not going to do the muscle snatches that I have been doing recently. Today, I want to do just snatches because I'm doing a bit of an experiment. So theoretically, in weightlifting, you should be able to, or you could, or you can, I should say, it's not necessarily required, but you can maintain your hook grip throughout the lift. And I had been warming up. I've been out here for like 30 minutes at least, just stretching and trying to get my wrists and everything to not hurt as much. And I was just holding the bar in like a front rack, and I just kept the hook grip on it for a second, and it was hard to get it to my shoulders just because I'm not super mobile in that front rack position, and I have a lot of upper body mass, so it was a little bit difficult to hold that position. But I noticed that I could have, like, when I was really cranking my arms up, it wasn't bothering my wrist. So whatever thing I was doing with the hook grip, or how the anatomy, I suppose, of my wrist when I'm holding that position was advantageous to not having pain. And I was trying that with the snatch, just the barbell, and just holding it without any wrist wraps or anything. I was like, this doesn't hurt. And the bar felt a little bit different in my hand. It was more in that meat of my like thumb muscles. So I don't know if I'll be able to maintain it with any sort of significant weight. It's something I've never really tried to do. And it was something I never really thought about trying to do. So I've seen people do it mostly in like videos, and it's just always felt weird if I've ever thought about, maintaining it. But for snatches, it should be a little bit easier. With cleans, might be a little bit more difficult, but I don't really generally have as much wrist pain with cleans or with jerks, just because it's a more neutral wrist position. And with cleans, most of the strain or most of the weight is going to land, on my shoulders. It's not going to land on my wrist. With snatches, obviously, it's all kind of in your arms there for that part. So we're going to try this 43 kilos. Like I said, I've been warming up for a while. I'm going to try to maintain the hook grip. I don't know, so I'm either going to be able to maintain it, especially with this weight, I should be able to. But if it gets heavier, if I can't, I'll be curious if, without any tape or wrist straps or anything, if trying to maintain it in that top position will feel better. So it's a bit of an experiment with that. So I don't know how heavy I'll be able to do or go, because yesterday training went really poorly, but I also had been training hard the last couple days, so it makes sense that yesterday I felt kind of crappy. Also didn't take any anti-inflammatory, so my wrist hurt a little bit extra, but also just wasn't feeling training. So weird how all that works together. So we're gonna have the hook grip, try to do the hook grip the whole time. I'm not really worried about anything else other than just that overhead position, seeing if that feels comfortable. So I don't know, RPE comfort. But without the bar, I didn't have any discomfort in the wrist, so maybe that's the key for me. Probably be better from a technique standpoint if I can force myself to maintain. I think why it didn't hurt as much is because my wrist was in a more neutral position, at least in the snatch. But we'll see. All right. So definitely a little bit of discomfort there in the wrist, even though I felt like I maintained the hook grip the whole time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat that, but with the wrist straps on, to see, because it was pretty low, the discomfort. But I know if I didn't have anything on, then and I added weight, it would get worse. So we're going to keep the weight there, put my wrist straps on, and come back in the next clip. So just experiment a little bit, maybe do some jerks out of the rack. I don't know. Depends how everything feels. What I had been doing this week was not only having the wrist straps on if I wasn't using straps, but to also have athletic tape on. So I put athletic tape basically between the wrist joint and, I always think, the radius, but the radius and ulna on both sides, just in that kind of fleshy area, basically to prevent wrist extension as much as I could. And that was seemingly helping a lot with the wrist discomfort. So I think that's, it's partially a strength thing, but obviously if that hurts to go in that motion, you're preventing that motion, it will help. So I have just wrist wraps on, no athletic tape. So hopefully I don't have to put athletic tape on, but if it starts to be in too much discomfort, then I'll just stay at this weight. So because I want my wrist to stop hurting, and I don't want to stop training. So I'm caught between a rock and a hard place, but we'll do 43 again. Just like last time, just try to maintain the hook grip. I don't know if it'll be more difficult or easier with the wrist straps on. I felt a lot better. So I felt a little bit of discomfort when I was standing up with it, but really didn't feel bad at all. So I'm going to do another rep here. Then we can add a little bit of weight. So again, not too bad. We'll add a little bit of weight to see if it feels in that same realm. I imagine that maintaining the hook grip will be a little bit more difficult as the weight increases, but we'll go up to the blues because that was basically pain-free. I mean, kind of surprising. So we'll just keep experimenting. Another thing I kind of noticed on that last one was when I was sitting in the bottom, when I had more active hands, it felt a little bit better. So I think one of the issues might be my hands are too relaxed, so then I'm extending too far, and that's creating discomfort. And with the hook grip, when I was just doing the bar with 43, what was probably helping is that my wrists are more neutral, but I'm also more active with my hands. So even if I'm not able to maintain the hook grip, I'm going to try to, I suppose, maintain that tension. But I didn't really feel any mobility restrictions maintaining the hook grip on that last one, so we'll go ahead and try to do it on this one. I think I suppose as weight gets heavier, it might, but I think for cleans it will be impossible to maintain the hook grip without dislocating my wrist. All right, so this is 61. Trying to maintain the hook grip. And to have active hands. It's interesting. It was still a little bit sore, but about the same soreness or the same pain as 43. It's also interesting. I guess it's helped that I warmed up a lot, but my left shoulder is feeling really good. So maybe the tension is helping with that as well. But we're going to bump up to 80 and just continue to push up with there without having the athletic tape on my wrist. If it gets bad or if it starts to get a little bit worse, I might throw that athletic tape on to keep pushing up if my technique's feeling pretty good. But so far, so good. Nothing that's too crazy, and the reps feel okay. So keep adding weight. Same focus as the last one to maintain the hook grip. I'm not worried about the total weight today. Like I said, just trying to get the wrist to be in a comfortable position. And if my left shoulder feels great too, then that's a huge bonus, because the wrist thing, that will just kind of go away on its own eventually. But the shoulder thing's been a nagging little thing for a little bit. So maybe all the stretching and maintaining the hook grip will help that. Kill two birds with one stone. So it's just 80. Have really active hands. So on that one, my hook grip came out. Wasn't really thinking about it, just kind of the natural thing. I don't really know why that is a change. Like, I don't know why I was able to hold 60 without really thinking about it, and then 80 just automatically undid. But the wrist felt the same as it did with 60 and 43, so that's a good sign. And the cue of having really active hands seems to feel good in the bottom with that. Everything besides my wrist feels pretty good, so that's exciting. I'm going to push up to 90 and just keep adding weight to see, how everything feels. If it, if the pain gets worse, then I'll cut it off there and maybe do some clean jerks or something, but we'll see. So far, so good. So far, this is already progress. Or at least this past week, when I would get up to like 80, that's when I was like, all right, I got to put athletic tape on to mask more of the pain. And I don't really think so much it's masking so much the pain. It's just giving my wrist as much support as possible. I actually accidentally made a purchase today of the Onyx wrist wraps. I was just looking at them, and I put stuff in the cart to like see what the total cost was with the discount code and all of that, and I accidentally purchased. So I have those. It's not a bad purchase. I'm sure they'll be fine, but those will be interesting to see because those are leather, and those will probably give less than these. These are stretchy, and these work great, but it'll be interesting. I really didn't even mean to purchase those, which kind of stinks, but I've made worse purchases because I think it'll end up being like 70 some bucks. But this is 90 here. Last one was 80. I've been redoing my wrist straps to get it to be in a good position. I'm hoping having the active hands will be helpful. I'm going to think to maintain my hook grip as well. That might just be a good technical cue for me. Because we'll probably, if 80 is any indicator, it will come undone, but I might finish a pull better. So, we'll see. Might just be the technical cue that will help my snatch tremendously because I feel very stable in the bottom. And it's weird. I'm like feeling my hands not hook grip or like going from the hook grip to not. And I'm not fighting it. I'm not worried. Like, obviously, I don't want to miss the lift because I'm trying to maintain a hook grip. But I'm feeling like I'm meeting it a lot better in the bottom. I don't know how it looks in the video because I haven't glanced at it yet. But it feels really good in the bottom, which is nice. It's not like crashed on me as much. So maybe I just figured out how to have good technique in the snatch. It's probably, me going through this thought process is probably like, of course, you should try to maintain it throughout of like, that's such a, easy thing to do. But, some stuff with technique for someone like me, I don't know if it's true for other people, I just don't think about, and it comes naturally. Like, maybe like a lot of stuff with the clean, I didn't really, learn necessarily good technique with the clean. A lot of it came naturally, and it was just through like feeling of the movement, and then you kind of learn little ins and outs of it as you're getting better at it, as you're getting stronger. And one of the disadvantages of having a really strong pull like I do is I can do snatches forever without really getting that tired for the most part, but also like I have for years, I can kind of get away with over pulling it and having the bar crash on me because I have so much excess pulling strength. I can get under a lot heavier weights than I should be doing from a good technique standpoint. So we're going to bump up to 100. I don't have any athletic tape on, which is already a good sign. And the weights are feeling pretty good. I want to stop the video too and glance at 90 to see if it looked how it felt. Even if it didn't, I'm still going up to 100 anyway. But so far, so good. So kind of exciting. What's kind of nice of thinking about maintaining the hook grip is it feels like I'm able to more objectively work on it, because a lot of times I'm like trying to wait longer, trying to extend more, and those are objective in a sense because you can see when you do and when you don't, but it's more subjective when you're actually lifting. If that makes any sense, where it's hard to feel that exact point where I have waited long enough, therefore I can extend. When I'm trying to just maintain my hook grip the whole time, there's not really like a start and finish to it. I'm just trying to maintain it the whole time. So I think what it's probably helping with now is the finish of the pull. And because I'm finishing the pull a bit better, obviously that's going to go downstream and help everything there. But when I'm turning over, I'm connecting to the bar better. Hopefully that continues with this 100. If it doesn't, we'll cut it off there. If it starts to, feel off, not really technically, but from a pain standpoint. But honestly, I don't have the athletic tape on, so that's already progress. I'd much rather just wear these than try to keep putting athletic tape on, because what would happen, I put it on my wrist, I put the wrist strap on, but then the athletic tape would rip because it's only can hold so much tension. So I would have to keep redoing it. So we'll do this 100 here. Same thought. Pull it, maintain a hook grip as long as I can. Feels tremendous. We'll keep adding weight. Definitely. I mean, it felt physically harder, but I'm not having that discomfort. So I think it's just getting my body to go into a better position. I'm having a little bit of discomfort in my shoulder, but that's frankly the fact that it wasn't a little bit achy prior is more of a surprise than a little bit after on this. But it's feeling good. I'm in a bit of a groove. So that's 100. So we'll go up to 110. I don't think I'm going to try and do any sort of crazy PRs. I'm just happy that so far the technique is feeling really good. Obviously, it's nice to not be in pain, but the technique is feeling really good. I meant to mention this before I actually did the lift. I'll start changing the weights while I talk. But I had the camera zoomed in a little bit, I think, till this clip started. So I apologize for that, but it was only zoomed in a little bit. So if you noticed the camera angle changing, that is because I didn't notice. And so you can tell I'm actually blind because I look at the camera when I'm out here, like when I'm standing on the platform, to make sure I can see myself on it. But I'm very blind, so I can only see, myself moving. But 540, but I can't really see detail because I'm blind as a bat from far away. So I always lift blind. That's why you only see me with glasses at the end of videos sometimes, or at the end of workouts if I'm just doing pressing and stuff, because it's nice to be able to see. But I'm gonna sit down for a minute, and I want to look at that too. So come back, do this 110 here in a couple minutes. So we got 110 here. Try to do the same thing. Get it back a little bit more. When I looked at the 100, I was a little bit, slightly out in front. So just make sure I'm really trying to finish. Just trying to keep that hook grip as long as I can, not to try to cheat it and let go of it early, and really just not think about letting it go. Just let the bar kind of do it itself. So I was out in front on that one. So we're going to try that again. If I finish it a bit more, I should be able to get it. Didn't really feel too bad. A little bit of wrist, a little bit of shoulder, all that, but that was technique, which is a good problem to have. But I just didn't get it back far enough. So we're going to sit down, come back, and hit it. The last rep was really close. I just have to finish it a bit more, just be a bit more confident. I just went early. Just try to maintain the hook grip even longer. That's the cue. So really it. I kept hooking longer, and it just put it in a better spot. So I just have to do that on every rep the rest of my life, and I'll be like that Instagram guy who used the fake weights to snatch 170. Now, I could probably snatch 170 right now if I had some fake 2.5 kilo plates. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, because once I'm large enough, I'll be able to purchase some of those technique plates, and then I'll really be able to blow up. This 110 snatch will turn into 160. But I'm going to go up to 120 because I felt really good, and I felt like I corrected my mistake. And wrist feels good. Shoulder feels good. Weight feels heavy, but it's always heavy. So this is 120 now. If I do it just how I did the last rep, should go fine. It will probably feel heavy. And this will probably be my top set, because I imagine it's going to feel pretty difficult. But if the technique's good, then I'll be happy. And after how crappy I felt yesterday, I'll be happy to hit this. So just keep the hook grip as long as I can. I almost missed it behind, and honestly didn't feel too bad. Whew. Kind of makes me want to go up to 125. Ugh. Because I think 125 might be there, but based on how the pressure on my wrist is there, that's definitely a good rep to end on, because I don't want to work too hard in the snatch and not be able to work hard in other movements. Really want to do 125. I'll stop the video and start it again. I'm thinking I'll probably stop unless I look at the clip and it looks really good, because wrist actually felt pretty solid on that one. And I think I got a little nervous and I almost threw it behind me, which is usually a good sign for more weight. We'll see. As you see, I've decided to go up to 125. The 120 didn't look that great, but seeing how I almost pulled it behind me, I know if I do the same thing on this one, I should put it in a decent spot. And I'm confident enough to be able to do it. I just have to be confident in maintaining the hook grip into there and to have a strong, active hands, and I can do it. So happy with that rep. So happy with that rep. It's definitely one to end on. Barely crashed on me. I mean, it still did because it's still heavy, but with how much like wrist discomfort I've been having, to be able to not have the athletic tape on, to really kind of have that technical breakthrough, it's just really exciting. What I think I'm going to do with this, so this will, we made it this far, will be the end of this mic'd up video. I'm still going to train. Whew, let me sit here. I'm really excited about that. Not a PR, so I'm not screaming around, but what I'm going to do is this is going to be a standalone mic'd up video of just me talking to the snatches. And then I'm going to reuse the clips and to make the full length workout. I probably won't be a general thing I'll do all the time, but I'm kind of experimenting with the mic'd up videos. If it's a whole workout, then it's a little bit too long. One, to render all of that, but also I think it's better to have a shorter one. I don't know how long this will end up being. Probably not terribly long compared to the other ones, but it'll be more focused on, snatches going really well, which is a really good thing. Because then the rest of it, like if I do clean jerks, what I'm going to try to do a little bit after, maybe just do some cleans and jerks out of the rack, but like not really as much to talk about that. And, my focus will be all over the place. It doesn't mean I'll never do that, but I'm experimenting with it. And as, a little bit winning, but as always, if you have, suggestions about things you're curious about me to talk about, or to kind of dive into or experiment with my training, or suggestions or any of that, those are always welcome. I can sit here, as I sit by myself without any music or anything in my shed and talk about my snatches the whole time I'm doing them. So I'm clearly, capable of, entertaining myself with my own lifting. But hopefully you guys get something out of this, and maybe the thought of maintaining or thinking about maintaining the hook grip will be a, kind of a good cue. Maybe it's something I should have always done. It's something I hadn't really thought about, but it's really on all the snatches today. I don't really feel necessarily faster or better in that like a strength sense, but I feel like that turnover and punch over is much smoother, and I'm catching it much more kind of like how I would catch like a good clean. Like even on that 125 there, you saw I was able to kind of chill in the bottom, and it's not pain-free, but it never will be. But to not have the athletic tape on to, hold it all together is certainly a big step forward. So hopefully that means that the wrist discomfort's on the back burner. Keep using the wrist wraps on all that good stuff, but hands are a bit raw now because that is the competition bar. So we'll see how everything else is feeling. But you made it this far. I really do appreciate it. If you watch any length of any of the videos and do anything, like it, dislike it, comment, or report it, any of that I appreciate, because just seeing the growth on a channel is just crazy. Just to think that I can post a normal training video and get 100 views. Like, that would be very rare year or two ago, to have that happen to any of my videos at any point. Obviously shorts are a lot different, and that's driving a lot of the growth of the channel. But now just seeing like my normal videos that will almost average 100 views, and some of them get more than that, and at minimum they're doing like 50, which like isn't a lot, but like when I used to would post stuff, it would get like 10 views or whatever, and that would be like a good video. And obviously I don't make money or anything off it, so it's not like I'm trying to make loads and loads of money. Sorry, thought I was being kidnapped. Thankfully, when you weigh 105 kilos, you don't get kidnapped very easily. The people that are going to kidnap you when you weigh this much are probably bears and offensive linemen, so it's few and far between. But anywho, before I get too far off track and make this a 94-minute video, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to hit the rest of my workout, which right now I have to think about what I want to do, but I'm going to relax for a couple minutes, maybe play some chess, recuperate, and hit some clean jerks maybe. But I'll talk to you all in the next one. Hope you all have a great day. Peace.